What's good, y'all? Elite Live Streams. We back with another one. Welcome back to the channel. How you guys doing out there? Hope you guys are having a great week. My week's been super productive. We've been having some great streams, man, and I got some time tonight, so we just gonna get on here, have some fun. We're gonna relax to some videos. Kind of, I'm gonna be a little bit all over the place tonight, but we're just gonna take it easy, man. We're gonna keep it chill. We're gonna have a great time, and salute to all the new subscribers, man. Salute to the Greenyer. Peace to you, my brother. Thank you for pulling up. We're gonna have some great commentary, man. Keep on, Black. Hey, I'm trying to do what I can here. I'm trying to make sure that I'm bringing you guys great content. I'm trying to make sure that I'm staying consistent and I'm doing the best that I can with the resources that I have available. So yeah, man, love to everybody who's been showing love, man. We have a great influx of new subscribers. So salute to all the new subscribers, man. We building, we trying to reach 1,000 subs so that we can get this channel monetized and be able to, make some moves here in these YouTube streets. But, there's been a lot going on. Obviously we got the Iran war. We got a lot of what I consider, and this is something I talk a lot about, is sleeper cells, man. There's a lot of weird activity going on, man. So hey, appreciate it, man. Hey, I'm trying, bro. We gonna definitely get there, bro. We gonna make it happen. I'm trying to be respectful to the process and make sure I'm doing everything that I can to grow as we start to get more subscribers and more attention. So it's been a great journey, and I truly do appreciate the compliment, man, because I definitely know that we have what it takes to kind of make this happen. We just have to kind of, get it right. You feel me? And that's what matters the most to me, is making sure I'm doing it right and making sure I'm bringing you guys a high quality product. You know what I'm saying? So that you guys can be able to look at these videos in the future and in the past and kind of be able to use them for informational purposes, and as well just to kind of grow the community. You know what I'm saying? The FBA community is truly growing, and I definitely want to be a part of this renaissance, right? I love that a lot of us in the FBA community have been speaking on that. There's a renaissance going on right now, and I'm so excited to be a part of it. You feel me? I'm so excited to be able to join in with other content creators and people in this space to be able to take what we know and share it amongst our community. You feel me? Because this is something I've been doing for a minute, as far as studying and growing my my mindset, and the information that I'm able to bring to you guys is all based on that research and the ideology that I have. You know what I'm saying? And so we're gonna make sure that we keep that going. Hold on, let me fix my camera, man, because I'm looking kind of small, and I don't really like that. You know what I mean? I gotta make sure. There we go. Yeah, there we go. Now we in there. I bet. I don't know what was going on, man, but I'm 6 foot, so naturally I feel like I always try to make myself smaller because it's kind of big and I'm kind of tall, but that's perfect. That's perfect. All right, cool. So let's get into a video about kind of what's going on. And we're gonna, do a little commentary and stuff and kind of react to it. But yeah, this is based on it says that the FBI warns the police about Iran planned surprise drone attack on California. And you guys know that I am right here in Cali. So, you know, I've been getting a lot of people, man. A lot of people been texting me, calling me, trying to, you know, tap in with me, making sure that I'm good. But then at the same time, they understand that I'm very like locked in with the information. So a lot of people are asking me like, man, what's going on over there in Cali, man? We heard you guys might, you know, have something happen, you know, might be an attack. And, you know, for better, for worse, you know, I really don't know what could happen. But just based on my research, I definitely think that it's possible, but it's going to be a very small margin for this to happen. A lot of things will have to fall into place. And so these videos that we're going to kind of react to are going to be a little bit in line with that. We're also going to talk about just the misdirected hate that's been coming towards us as foundational Black Americans, man. I've been seeing a lot of people, man. A lot of people are upset about 19 Keys, man. And I justifiably so, you know, 19 Keys, everybody thought that he was in line with what was going on with us. And as foundational Black Americans, you know, we always supported him. And so I think a lot of people feel some type of way about him coming for us. But in reality, I think his hate is not for us. I think his hate is for Tariq, honestly, because a lot of people don't like Tariq, man. And they really are trying to put this tag on him like he's the leader of a lineage and all this other stuff. But in reality, man, like he's just one man, and he makes it clear every single time that it's a lineage. He's not a leader. There is no leader to foundational Black Americans and what we got going on over here. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm starting to see is a lot of these guys, you know, 19 Keys and Dr. Umar, I think they see Tariq as a threat to whatever collective following that they have, and the fact that the delineation movement has now kind of spread that across a lot of different factions of like the Black diaspora. You know what I'm saying? And so a lot of people are upset with him. And I think it's just misdirected energy at foundational Black Americans, because in reality, a lot of us are on code with a lot of different ideologies. We all have our own backgrounds and where we come from. So it's just been very weird to see all these different people coming at foundational Black Americans. And we didn't, you know, we ain't doing nothing, man. We just over here creating content, making sure we stand tapped in with our community and spreading awareness. And at the same time, not allowing other people to be able to steal or be able to cosplay what we got going on. You know, the gatekeeping is real right now. And so we're going to talk about that, man. We just going to kick it. It's Friday night. You know, I don't know. Y'all out here with me in the chat. I hope you guys, you know, are having a great night. We just going to, you know, go through some stuff, have some fun, look at some conspiracy theories. You feel me? Take our time with this and just enjoy. You feel me? So let's get into this video. All right.
If you live anywhere in California, then you need to know that the FBI warned police departments that Iran could be planning an attack. And allegedly, that attack that they're planning on doing it in California first. Look at this shit.
The FBI warning of possible Iranian drone attacks on our homeland. A new alert reviewed by ABC News revealing Iran's aspirations to conduct a surprise attack specifically against unspecified targets in California. The FBI saying it's warned police departments across the Golden State now of strikes by unmanned aerial vehicles. All
right, so when I start to see this type of propaganda and, you know, news come out, my initial thought is it's not just California. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, we just saw the mass shooting with the guy from, you know, the African who came out here and he shot up a synagogue, right? We just seen that. And Tariq was talking about, everybody's been talking about it. That didn't happen in California. Okay? So I think, in my opinion, you know, obviously there's going to be propaganda as a part of the white media and how they kind of move. But in reality, everybody should have their antennas up right now. You know what I'm saying? It shouldn't just be, oh, be careful in California. No, be careful everywhere in the US, because obviously we have let in so many immigrants, right? And a lot of them, you know, are factions of these specific groups. We know what groups those are. We don't even have to say it. But this is a part of how they've been able to infiltrate into our communities, into our, different states and different regions. And look, at any point, they could get that call. You know what I'm saying? They get that call. Hey, go pow pow somebody's, synagogue, go pow pow a store, go pow pow movie theaters, whatever, right? Because we've already seen the white nationalist aspect of that, right? The white nationalist aspect of mass shootings and terrorist threats and terrorism, right? We've seen that already. But now we're starting to see a new face. And that is, in my opinion, part of the sleeper cells, because as well, what people aren't talking about is that China has a lot of their operatives underneath enemy lines, which the enemy would be us, the United States. You don't think that they could activate some of those sleeper cells as well? You're going to be mad if you don't think that, okay? You got to be careful and you got to keep your head on the swivel because, like I said, it ain't just California. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got to be on watch right now because we know what could happen. And obviously, like I said, it ain't just going to be in California. This is going to be happening across the nation. Everybody needs to have their antennas up. Everybody needs to be careful about how they're moving out here because, like I said, we're at war right now and anything can happen. And so naturally, foundational Black Americans, we are instinctively more aware because of our history, right? So many years that we've kind of been underneath enemy lines, right? We already know how to move and how to, look around, make sure that we're in certain rooms, make sure that we're paying attention to our surroundings. Everybody else, though, they're sitting ducks. So they got to be on alert, man, because obviously, like I said, this is only going to ramp up as things get a little bit deeper within, this war in Iran. You know what I'm saying?
Drones as tensions rise in the Middle East.
So they're basically saying a ship armed with drones is going to get close enough to California and let those drones loose. And we talking about California. Let's talk about New York. I ain't never hear this many helicopters flying around New York. Man. What's really going on? What we have to know is that we're not getting the truth about everything. 1 minute, somebody's on television saying that the war can end in 11 days. Then the next minute, they're saying that Iran is planning on allegedly hitting California with a drone attack.
Now, listen, this is as well why I always talk about the white media propagandists who are, paid to escalate and paid to take things to another level. And obviously, like I mentioned, it isn't just going to be California who's at target or who would be wants to be on alert. It's going to be everywhere. Like he mentioned, he's in New York and he's already seeing these type of things that are going on in New York. I'm being honest with you guys. These are going to be all major metropolitan cities that are near ports. Okay. Anywhere that's near somewhere that there's a great mass of water or waterways, they need to be careful. Texas, Louisiana, the South in general, everywhere needs to be on alert while we're at war. Anybody who is choosing not to keep their head on a swivel right now, is not moving correctly, is not paying attention, then they are a sitting duck. You gotta be on it these days, man. Ain't nothing sweet out here.
Now I need you to listen to what they said. They said it's supposed to be a surprise attack. Okay, so if it's a surprise, how did you know about it?
That part.
And I'm not saying that to say that we shouldn't be aware. I'm saying that to say we are continuously being lied to. We are out the loop on everything. They told us only 6 American soldiers died so far. Only a couple got injured. To come to find out, that's a lie. I'll say that to say this. If anything happens on American soil, Americans are not going to know what to do. Because the people that are supposed to be leading America is misleading America.
That's it, man. We are going to be in a very vulnerable position if we do not continue to pay attention and spread the truth, right? And that's a big part of why I started this channel. It's a big part of why I started Elite Media, is because I saw that the media in general, whatever you consider mainstream media, they're lying to us. Nothing that they're telling us is true. It's never on code. There's always a bias, or there's always somebody getting paid to suppress what's really going on. And so naturally, coming from my perspective, I was like, no, I need to create my own independent media company to be able to combat these narratives and be able to spread the truth and try to, you know, get this out to as many people as I can so that people understand what's really going on. Now, listen, everybody has their own ideologies and what they want to do on YouTube and what they want to do, you know, in the social media content creator space. But for me, that was my main goal. My main goal was just about spreading awareness and the truth, because I saw that mainstream media has an incentive to lie to us endlessly. Anything that we are being told right now, to be honest with you, we have to take it with a grain of salt if it's coming from mainstream media, because they are lying to us at a grand scale. It isn't just, oh, a few, you know, I'll go over here to Fox News or I'll go over here to MSNBC. No, all of them are lying in different capacities, obviously, based on their biases and what side they lean on, right? But in reality, that's why I feel like the grassroots and independent media in general is so important, because right now, we are now starting to see the same things that they talked about every other country doing. Is the government controls the media now, okay? They try to act like, oh yeah, these other media companies, blah, 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 but the government has now fully infiltrated and taken control of the media. Now, listen, this also goes deeper, right? This goes into social media. This goes into TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. Every single platform is now deeply regulated by the government, even YouTube, right? I'm on YouTube. I spread the truth, whatever. But y'all saw just yesterday, the stream that I did when I was talking about those people, you saw that they was playing with my stream. They're making it grainy, all these type of things, right? So now I have to move a certain type of way so that my message can get out properly, because I see now how they've been suppressing videos when I'm talking about Donald Trump, or when I'm talking about Prince Andrew, or I'm talking about the files. Y'all know the files. When any of those videos, you can look on my channel right now. They'll get five views, 10 views. I have over 800 subscribers. How is that possible? How is it possible that the people who are subscribed to my channel are not able to watch the content that I'm putting out? It's because it's suppression. They are in full control of this, and we can try our best. Excuse me. We can try our best to get the truth out, but it's always going to be through that barrier where a lot of these social media sites and a lot of these content creators, they are going through a paywall, because the government is literally saying, don't let this get out, suppress these type of videos. If you see these keywords, dead the reach. Don't let it be able to get out. And it's crazy, because that's kind of what's happening everywhere. They talk about third world countries, but it's happening right here in the US too, man.
We know that sleeper cells are here. We know that something can happen. We know from previous incidents, but y'all need to pay attention, because this shit don't sound good at all. I'm out.
All right, so as y'all know, you know what I'm saying, I am a true believer, and a lot of the content that I follow is a part of this. And so this verse says, and he will destroy in this mountain the face of the covering and cast over all people, and the veil that is spread all over nations. The veil is being lifted, y'all. And we understand that this is happening right now. And so a lot of people are paying attention to this, and they know what's happening. So we have to be as clear and concise about the messaging, because like I said, they are suppressing the truth. And that is a part of the prophecy. The prophecy is now what is evil is good, and what is good is now considered evil, right? It's a spiritual war. And we talk about this all the time, especially on my channel. This is a spiritual war that we are all dealing with right now, and we have to stay on code, okay? Salute to V. I appreciate you pulling up all the time, man. Appreciate you. All right, so we got Will A. Salute to Will A. Let's hope. All right, there we go. Indeed. And your transparency is needed, and we appreciate all your effort and content and work, fam. Thank you so much, Will, because it's important for me to get feedback from you guys because it helps me to keep going. Because there's so many times, man, I mean this, bro. I'll put out and I'll take time with these videos and I'll put them together and it'll get no views. I'm just like, man, this is how they're able to kill or destroy certain content creators' confidence to keep going in that direction, because there's so much incentives to go in another direction just for views. And I will not compromise myself for views, y'all. That's one thing you can count on me to do. I am not going to compromise myself for views because I'm building this platform on truth, reality, and helping others, man. We're trying to help people over here. I'm not trying to be just doing this for me. Channels that I see, man, they ain't doing nothing for none of their people, bruh. All they doing is getting on these live streams, talking about circular conversations that are going nowhere. All right. That's not what I'm doing here. I'm going in a direction of actual real things, bro. We got to get to work. We got a lot of work to do in the foundational Black American community. And I'm going to be one of those ones who going to put on the work jacket, who's going to put on the boots, man. I'm going to get out here and do the work because y'all already know I'm boots on the ground out here in Long Beach, man. Anybody in need, we always helping people. If you need help, if you need food, I run a food bank right here in Long Beach so we can get it cracking. You know what I'm saying? Salute to Conversation Peace. He says, false flags. Some Americans are just easy to be convinced. Yes, they are, man. Some people are brainwashed, bro. They've really bought into the ideology of this media propaganda that they've been sold for so many generations right here in the United States. And that's because a lot of people don't study history. A lot of people don't take time to really look at the construct of this country and what they've done for so long to try to suppress and try to oppress the people and the true indigenous heart of who we are right here in the North Americas. Okay. Social media sites, along with the government, were extremely shadow banning channels during the last election. They aren't slick. Yeah, this is facts, man. This is facts because we already know that there's been so many people who have made great content and are doing great things, but you'll never find out about them because, like I told you, the setup and the way that the social media construct is, they don't want this to get out. And that's just facts. So we not gonna play them games though. I told you, I don't care. I'm gonna be on here as long as I can be, spreading the truth. Doing exactly what needs to be done, doing the research and bringing it to you guys so that you guys can come to your own conclusions and be able to go out and make your own wave. All right, because that's what we doing here, man. Salute to Will A. He said facts. Absolutely, sir. We see it. Great work. Thank you, Will. All right, so let's get back to the video. Here we go. Let's hear this brother.
To make us slaves. I don't know if there's any other country or culture where the whole point from the very beginning was to enslave the whole population.
Now listen, I've talked about this on the channel. The business of the Black American slaves, for foundational Black American slaves, how it was a business for the colonizers and for the founding fathers, how much money they made, how much money per slave. I did a whole breakdown on my channel about that, right? So once that kind of fizzled out, right? Once we got out of slavery, they had to find a new way to enslave us. And so this is what they're talking about now. We are, quote unquote, the new slaves to the construct of the United States facade. All right. They sold everybody a dream, right? The American dream is a lie, and it's always been a lie. But the thing is, foundational Black Americans have always known that. We've always known that this is a lie. Everybody else just chose not to listen because they were benefiting from the construct. But now, like I told you, the veil is being lifted. They can never go back from the point that we are now. Everything has now come out. The truth is now being revealed. And if you are ignoring it, that is willingly. You are now willing participant in your own demise if you think that things will ever be how they used to. It's done. The whole concept of make America great again is over. It's never been great. Okay? And foundational Black Americans have always known this. We know the true nature of these people. We understood the lies that were being told to us every single day, but everybody else chose to buy in. And now they're cooked because they don't know what to do. Their world feels like it's crumbling. Meanwhile, foundational Black Americans, we chilling, man. We trying to get money. We trying to make moves. We trying to build. You feel me? Because we already know this. And that's also a point is we have been through so much, over 16 presidents when we were still before slavery, okay? Foundational Black Americans have seen the worst of this country. Do you think that us going to war is going to affect anything from foundational Black Americans? We've seen the worst of this. And people are saying, oh, Donald Trump, he's the one that's ruined this country. He's the one that's running it into the ground. Okay, so then what happened when our ancestors was here? That wasn't this country being ran into the ground? Nah, it was cool when we was strange fruit hanging up off of trees, right? It was all good, right? Hey, it's been the American nightmare for us, the true first Americans and only Americans. Facts. Facts, Will. You know what's up, bro, because at the end of the day, we've seen this. Like I told you, nobody knows the colonizer better than foundational Black Americans. Why? Because we have fought against them since they got here. All right? Quiet is kept. Since you guys want to act, like you don't know what's going on, quiet is kept. We have fought them since they came here. Okay? We are not people who just lay down and let things happen. We have fought them tooth and nail every single step. Everybody else has wanted to assimilate. Everybody else has wanted to be accepted. Everybody else has had to turn on their stomach and take it right up the rear. But not us, not foundational Black Americans. That's not how we get down. We gonna fight until it's over, straight up, because this is our country and we ain't leaving. We ain't going nowhere.
Like, America doesn't have traditions. We don't have our own foods. We don't have like cultural dances or
white America, okay? White America doesn't have traditions. White America doesn't have cultural dances. White America doesn't have a sense of community. Foundational Black Americans, we are culture. We are the heartbeat of this country. Our food, like I always tell you guys, is a worldwide phenomenon. Okay? Speak for yourself, white man. All right? Don't speak for us. We are the culture. Okay? We have a huge sense of community. We are the ones who set the trend. Everybody else follows us. And that's just a fact, bro. Yes, we do speak for yourself. We are the culture, man. Facts, bro. Facts, Will. Salute to V. He says, too focused on tearing us down. That part, instead of building themselves up, instead of creating their own culture, instead of figuring out, hey, man, why aren't we collectively together as a community? That's on them. But at every turn, y'all be hearing it. They'll talk about the Black community. They'll tell us about ourselves. They'll say that our culture is so degenerative, right? That we are just so violent. All these other stereotypes that just aren't true. But like I said, when they speak the truth, like this white man is speaking right here, right? He can't deny it. All right, so let's hear him again, because I want you guys to hear this white man again with his sob story.
Our entire culture was created to make us slaves. I don't know if there's any other country or culture where the whole point from the very beginning was to enslave the whole population. Like, America doesn't have traditions. We don't have our own foods. We don't have like cultural dances or like no real things. Everything is just piggybacked from another culture or another religion.
Like I said, white America doesn't have culture, okay? White America doesn't have cultural dances and community. Black Americans, foundational Black Americans, we are permeating. It's in everything that we do, okay? Everything that we do. All right, salute to Will. He says barbecue, we came up, invented that, and they stay trying to steal and take credit for our history, origin stories, and so far apart. That's facts, man. Like we talked about the other day, Mr. Tendernism is a prime example of this, okay? Mr. Tendernism brought a certain culture to that restaurant at the Destination Smokehouse. What they should have did is get behind the man with the culture. But in his colonizer spirit, he can never allow that, okay? It is not in him to allow a foundational Black American man to be the front of the business, to be the owner of the business. He had to take advantage of that brother. And unfortunately, he had to learn the hard way that this is not the past, okay? We see something that ain't right, we're gonna make and speak about it. And now let's keep it real. His business is dead. Hey, straight up, bro. They came from them Caucasus caves, bro. And now they complain, and now they're all hurt. Now they're crying on video, talking about we never should have voted for Donald Trump. It's too late. Because let me be super clear about this. Super clear about this. What's happening right now, it wasn't just Donald Trump. I'm gonna ruffle some feathers with that. It wasn't just Donald Trump, y'all. It has been happening for generations. It has now just come to a head because this is what happens when the white establishment gets emboldened, when they start to believe their own hype, and then they realize you ain't who you think you are. You're not, and you never been. You were not even going to be in the position that you were in without the foundational Black Americans fighting on the front line since the beginning. The Civil War is not won without the foundational Black American soldiers. This is just history, y'all. I don't have to keep going because I know that y'all know, and I know that the people who are subscribed to my channel are highly intelligent foundational Black Americans, okay? I know that. But all I'm saying is crazy that these people don't understand history and they don't study history. Because if they did, they will understand how integral our existence is to their existence. How our existence literally has helped them become the most powerful nation in the entire world. It does not get there without foundational Black Americans' work, sacrifice, and blood. Okay? The blood of our ancestors, the blood of our family members, all the people who have died up to this point, foundational Black Americans who are the true patriots of this country, there would not be any of this without us. Okay? And that's just the facts, bro. And that's why it makes me so mad when they get on here and they try to, change the story. When it's like, no, bro, you guys wouldn't have been nothing without us. And that's just facts.
And twisted to make our own.
Look at this dude.
But like all of our lore, our characters, our versions of the mythical creatures and everything and stories are all Disney stories. And those are just meant to control you. They created them with the intent to sell a product and then sell more products on the back of that product.
And you know what's funny as well to me? It's funny that now everybody's coming to these realizations. Now everybody's waking up, right? Now everybody sees it for what it is. Not when foundational Black Americans was getting pow-powed by the police in the middle of the street. Not when George Zimmerman was chasing down youths in their own community and killing that brother Trayvon Martin. Nah, we didn't wake up then. No, we also didn't wake up when there was a mass incarceration of our black brothers. Nah, not then. No, not yet. No, it's not propaganda yet. No. Oh, what about slavery? No, we didn't learn anything from slavery. We didn't learn anything from slavery, huh? Civil rights movement? No, nah. All right. And that's why it upsets me so much, because they act so stupid and dense. They act like this was just, it just popped up when Donald Trump got elected. No, man, this has been happening for generations. And this is what the result is when you do not listen to the people who helped you become what you are today, which is foundational Black Americans. We try to warn y'all, and y'all chose not to listen. So, oh well, let it burn, family. They in so much damn debt, but the damage can't be, it can't be rectified. It's over, man. And that's why I'm trying to tell people, whatever ideology and mentality that you have of what America was, let it go. Let it go, okay? Like the girlfriend you can't get over, let it go, all right? It's over. It's over. It's time to move on. It's time to look for a new lane. It's time to rebuild yourself. It's time to actually hold these people accountable. And guess what? Y'all not mad enough. Y'all not mad enough for me. And I'm keeping it real. Y'all not. You guys are not mad enough, because all you guys are doing is this. That's all I see white America doing, just talking. When y'all gonna do something? Right? When y'all gonna do something? When y'all gonna hit the streets like Black Americans do all the time? When y'all gonna hit and go to these politicians that y'all voted in and start holding them accountable? When are you guys gonna start revolting? Because y'all not mad enough. And like I said, I'm a little bit more radical than a few of these other content creators on these, YouTube streets. All right. When y'all ready, let me know. But y'all not mad enough, in my opinion. You're not. Because all I see is this. I see a bunch of this. I see a bunch of fake tears. I see a bunch of people trying to make excuses and trying to get sympathy. Oh, I made the wrong decision. I shouldn't have voted for Donald Trump. Well, guess what? Racism is expensive. You got to pay a price when you're a racist. Okay? Whether it be with money, whether it be spiritually, you have to pay a price, because we already made it clear. Foundational Black Americans are protected by a spiritual, ancestral protection. Okay? We are doing the work, and it is being supported because of the ancestors, right? Y'all got to rectify and hold your ancestors accountable. The bloodlines that you guys come from is destruction, okay? So y'all need to do something about it. Like I said, y'all not mad enough for me. They not mad enough for me. They just talking. That's all they doing. Just get on here talking, crying about, oh, what's going to happen to America? You guys knew what was going to happen, but you guys wanted it to be us. Y'all wanted it to be Black Americans so bad. Y'all wanted it to be worse for us. And in reality, those tables turned. That's what they wanted, man. They wanted it for us so bad. And this is what happens when you do these type of things. When your spirit isn't right, when your heart isn't right, you will get the judgment one way or another. And this is in the prophecy. Like I told y'all, this is bigger than just us, man. This is actual real prophecies, y'all. Let's go.
And they've always looked at us as consumers since the beginning. Everything is stolen.
It's the beginning.
The very land is stolen. The traditions are stolen. The food is stolen. America is basically the country where a bunch of people who were from other countries looked around and said, let's monetize this.
And this is how I know they don't understand history. Because if he understood history, he would know that this was a thriving nation before any of them colonizers got here. Okay? We are already here. Okay? And so when they come here, And he's talking about, oh, this was a country where other people from different countries saw this and they could monetize it. What do you mean by monetize, sir? Let me clarify what you mean by monetize. Do you mean the enslavement of foundational Black Americans? Because that's where it starts, my guy. You want to talk about monetizing? No, you need to talk about the slave trade. You need to talk about the criminality of your community. Okay, you need to talk about the prisoners of war from the indigenous native people that were here, foundational Black Americans. You dig? That's what you need to talk about. America and the United States, the corporation, are two different entities. Brother, thank you, brother. This is facts. This is facts. And that's something they don't want to address. They don't want to address that. They always want to put it off somewhere else. They're always putting it off somewhere else. No, bro. I need you guys to address what's really happening and not try to play these games because it's pissing me off. And like I said, you all ain't mad enough. You're not mad enough for me, man. You're not. You're not mad enough. Y'all need to get mad and get in the streets and start doing something about it. Because if you ain't, I ain't got time to listen to your tears. I ain't got time for it, bro.
We can extract energy from all of these people if we create everything to be like America is like Disneyland. You go to Disneyland, it looks beautiful. It smells nice. There's trash cans everywhere, so you never need to throw your trash on the floor. And then you peek behind the curtain and you see that it's not really Mickey. It's just a guy smoking a cigarette.
You guys created this. It was a beautiful place before y'all got here. Okay? Before your colonizers came here and colonized the Americas, this was a beautiful nation. We didn't need y'all. Everything was working in harmony because the Most High told us this was the land of milk and honey. He sent us here. It was his prophecy for us to come here. When y'all got here, that's when everything went to crap. Okay? And he don't want to admit that, and that's fine. But all I got to say is it will continue until you guys address what you guys did. And until then, it's over. It's a wrap. It'll never be the same, man. It will never be the same. Merriam-Webster 1828's definition of copper-colored races. You already know what it is, family. Yes, sir. We are the original. We are the originals, man. This is just facts, bro. When we talk about the 12 tribes of Israel, that's us, man. When we talk about the indigenous people of this land, that is foundational Black Americans. But he don't want to talk about that. He want to talk about Disneyland and how things look. Bro, you're so behind. It's sad.
Oh, it's not this well-built thing. It's just a skeleton. It's just all cardboard cutouts. That's what America is. It's like Disneyland. Everything's expensive. It looks pretty on the outside, but
Look at this dude.
You look a little deeper and you see that everything is fake.
Lost soul.
And that's the culture we grew up in.
Lost soul right here, man. Lost soul.
Fake, stolen things meant for the purpose to control us.
My brother, you guys are the original thieves. And that's why I always try to tell people this. The original thief is the white establishment. The original pillagers are the white Europeans. The original destroyers of multiple nations are these people right here. They created famines and sicknesses that have never been created in the history of this world. Since the documentation of sickness, they were the ones who brought that here. All that dirty mentality where we had to teach them how to clean themselves, they brought that here, not us. Straight up, man. Salute to William. He says, I believe we migrated ourselves out of South America into North America. We walked into North America and they came, and everyone else came from boats or planes. Yeah, that's facts, man. There is historical reference points where they talk about the oceans, what they consider today. The oceans that they consider today were frozen during the Ice Age. We, as the original copper-colored people, traveled many miles across to come here, okay? Naturally, if you go through your genealogy, a lot of us who have done our genealogy can trace it all the way up to the 1600s, the 1500s, and then it goes dark, right? Then we lose any documentation. Why is that? Well, that's because they destroyed all the records that would tell us who we are before that. They destroyed it, okay? So a lot of our people who are native to these lands, who are native to these specific tribes, all that was destroyed because they knew once we will find out who we really are, it's over, man. It's over for them and their lies, okay? All those pretendians, all that stuff, it's over for them. Straight up, man. All right, so salute to Will. He says, those pyramids in South America that are works, the Olmecs, the Aztecs, and the Mayans, that was us. They still are identities 100% because you can look at the noses. You can look at the nose, okay? You can look at the nose and know who that is, all right? Because this is distinctly us, okay? Whatever people have to say, I really don't care. When they are destroying all types of monuments across the world that represent us and who we were, that tells us everything we need to know. We don't have to keep going back and forth with these people, and I'm not. Like I told you, I'm not going to keep going back and forth with Africans about who I am when I can prove it, bro. It's just silly. It's a circular conversation that goes nowhere. Foundational Black Americans, we have a goal, and we have to make sure that we keep our eyes on the prize, even during the controversy and noise of so many other groups trying their best to take us off of our square. I'm not going to allow it, and I'm not going to allow my people to get distracted. There are more pyramids in South America than Egypt. Facts. There are pyramids in the Grand Canyon, but they ain't going to tell you that. They're not going to tell you that there's pyramids in the Grand Canyon, okay? I just dropped that on y'all. I'm going to drop that bomb right there on y'all. I'm going to drop that bomb right there on y'all. The Grand Canyon has pyramids, family. All right? This is just facts. And we were reclassified so many times. That's right. And that's why they're so mad that foundational Black Americans are delineating right now. Because we got tired of that classification. We started doing some research and studying, doing our genealogy. And we're like, hold up, man, this is who we are. We're foundational Black Americans. Y'all could be whatever you want to be, but this is what we are. Crying, look at him, he hurt.
60% of the American public is about to lose everything they have. People living paycheck to paycheck are about to go broke. The GDP numbers came in yesterday, and of course the economy receded, which I predicted 2 months ago, and people laughed. Mark my words, the second quarter is going to be far worse. Tariffs on Chinese products at 145% are about to kick in, which means everything you buy from China on Amazon or elsewhere is about to go through the roof.
All right, now this is where I can give you guys some perspective from my world travels, because I've traveled many places. If you go into South America, the system of inflation is very similar to what's happening here, right? But the only difference is if you go underneath the peso system, the dollar is going to be crazy. It fluctuates over there. One day the peso could be worth this, the next day the peso could be worth that. But this is what you'll see. If you go into a store and there's something on the shelf, right? It'll say for sale 20,000 pesos, right? And you're like, what the fuck? Like 20,000 pesos. But in reality, in dollars, it's not that expensive. But that is what's going to happen here, because if you go to those countries, they always tell you it's actually cheaper for them to come to America and buy clothes, buy shoes, buy all this stuff and take it back to their countries, because if they spend their own money in their own country, it is too expensive because of the fluctuation of the dollar. The same exact thing is happening here. But a lot of people do not travel. A lot of Americans don't go and see. They don't go and experience other countries to be able to come back and say, yo, we doing some BS over here. We kind of turning into a third world country with how we moving with the dollars and with the inflation. But a lot of people don't pay attention to that because, like I told you, they're willingly sleeping, okay? They're getting rocked to bed, right? All these Americans, all these white Americans have thought that things were so good. They swore that the country was just, it was just amazing. We live in the greatest country in the world. Meanwhile, Foundation of Black Americans already seen this coming. We knew what was going to happen, but they chose to not listen. So y'all got to hold the L. That's just what it is. You got to hold the L, man, because at the end of the day, this is a part of the system to where, like he just mentioned, we all are going to become slaves, but not black. I told you, Black Americans, we chilling, man. We building. We trying to get our money up. We trying to save our money. We're being strategic about who we spend with now, and we're building amongst each other. We don't got time for the tears because we done cried too many tears over so long, y'all. Hey, and make sure you guys like and subscribe. Make sure to like the video. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, man. We trying to grow, and your boy is cooking over here. I'm cooking right now. Y'all gotta definitely fuck with your boy because this is what I do. I'm gonna always bring some real perspective because a lot of these content creators, they ain't never done nothing. They ain't never traveled. They ain't never seen nothing. I come from a very, very serious background. I've worked in corporate America. I've traveled the world. I've also worked in the music industry. I've done it all. All right. So when it comes to perspective, I got a lot. I got a lot of experience that I can speak about from a very, very direct ideology and seeing it for myself. No one else can come up here and give you this type of content. All right. Because my experience is vast. All right. So when I hear people talking about, oh, 60% of Americans are going broke. Yeah, that's because you guys told them that they need to have a house. They need to have the newest car. They need to do this. They need this to be able to keep up with the next man. But nah, Black Americans have always learned how to make something out of nothing. We've always had to live paycheck to paycheck. We've always had to make sure our money go as far as we can get it. We are survivors. Okay, so this type of stuff doesn't scare us. We don't get shook about the economy and what's happening in the unemployment rate because a lot of us had to go through unemployment many a different ways. All right, having to go through corporate America and being competitive with all these other folks. And then what? We end up being the ones having to get laid off first. Come on, man. We done seen this. We done been through this for generations, family. This doesn't scare us. This doesn't shake us up because we've been through this already, family. This shakes up white America because white America has been getting fat. They've been chilling. They've been enjoying all this BS. Now it's over. The facade is over, baby. Time to pull yourself up by your bootstraps, white person. Time to get it going. Time for you to get up. Time for you to stop sitting around. Ain't no more benefits. Ain't no more welfare. Ain't no more none of that. All right. Salute to Will. He says, had to make $1 out of 15 cents. Facts, bro. This is just who we are, man. We've never had anything. So we know how to survive on nothing. Okay. We know how to make a meal stretch. All right. We done had to have, you feel me, bread with butter and sugar on that thing because we didn't have nothing else to eat in the refrigerator, okay? We done had to go through the bologna sandwiches, the processed foods. We done had to do that. Y'all got to go through it now. It's too bad, man. It's too bad. A lot of us grew up with less and they ain't scaring nobody. Facts, man. You know what I'm saying? A lot of us had to make it work, okay? I vividly remember times where my parents couldn't afford the latest clothing or the latest this or latest that. What did I do? I took myself to the thrift store and made it work for me. All right. I figured out how to buy stuff at a cheap rate and it's still name brands, but y'all paying this much, bro. I could get this at the thrift store for $2. I got my polo on just like Kanye. Where you get that from, B? I got this at the thrift store, my boy. You know what I'm saying? I got this at the thrift store, dog. I didn't pay nothing for this. This was, you know, a little something I put together. That's just who we are, man. We gonna make it work, bro. Straight up. Salute to V. He says, man, my mama said a baked potato if I said I was hungry. Bro, what? And you'll be full, okay? That'll fill you up, and it's gonna hold you too, all right? A potato gonna hold you, all right? Regardless of what people gotta say, a potato will hold you. We're gonna eat that, we're gonna be good and go about our business. Potato, man, peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, bro. I lived on peanut butter and jelly sandwiches throughout high school, bro. What we talking about, man? Especially, you know, I played sports, so getting my weight up, 3-4 potato PB&J sandwiches, you know what I'm saying? Put that together, put it in my little pack and dip, bro. We ready to go. Ain't nothing more to it, bro.
Grocery store shelves are starting to empty at Walmarts across the country. And of course, grocery prices continue to soar. People who've been financing groceries on credit are starting to default on those payments.
All right, look, and this is why I always say, you know, on my channel, I'm here to help people. You know what I'm saying? My family runs a food bank right here in Long Beach. So anybody in need, all right, because like I said, it's about to get rough out here. All right. We do it every first and third Saturdays of the month. Okay. Every first and third Saturdays of the month. So anybody who is in need, we have abundance. All right. We're able to get this food from different places and we go out and we give it to the folks who need it. And I mean this, times are about to get tougher. So if you need help, do not feel like you are too good for anybody who's going to be able to give it to you. Okay. We bigger than that. This is about community now. Okay. So if you see food banks, if you need that, bro, my parents be giving me stuff from the food bank. Hey, Brandon, you need something to take home? I'll be good, but sometimes I might need it. You know what I'm saying? And we be having good stuff, y'all. We be having fresh fruit. We be having meat. We be having rice, beans, stuff that's going to last you. You know what I'm saying? Perishable, canned goods, stuff like that, bro. We be having that. So if y'all need that, this is what I do. You know what I'm saying? This is what my family does. My family has been doing this since I was a kid, over 40 years. You know what I'm saying? So don't be too proud, especially right now with the times that we're in, okay? Because it's not going to get better. Like he told you, these stores are going to start emptying out. All right. Facts. I had to make that Burlington or Marshall's outfit work and rocked it proudly, straight up. Real niggas shop at Ross. You feel me? Nipsey said that himself. Real niggas shop at Ross, bro. It's just facts, bro. It's not about the clothes. The man make the clothes, bro. The man makes the clothes, bro. It ain't about what you wearing, the flyest stuff, all that stuff. That's them. They created that stuff. All these luxury brands and stuff, that's white folks' culture, family. That's why foundational Black Americans have so much style, is because we had to make something out of nothing. We had to put it together in a certain way that nobody else could because we just had nothing. So we like, yo, let's make sure we get our shit together. Make sure we patching up our clothes. Make sure whatever we got to make that last. Hand-me-downs, that is a Black American term. Hand-me-downs is a Black American term. My older brother, if it's too big for him, pass it down to me because I'm growing and I'll wear it. Ain't nothing getting wasted around here. And that's facts, man. Straight up. It's about our community. It's about our community and it's about helping one another. That's what this is about, man. Connection and helping each other, y'all. Because like I told you, the white establishment, they're in shambles right now. They don't know what to do because they've always had everything handed to them. They've always never had to work for anything. Land grants, farming, all this stuff was given to them. Meanwhile, Black farmers had to work with nothing and they are thriving still, okay? That's why they were so mad about Black Wall Street, y'all. Because when the Great Depression was happening and they was cooked, we were thriving. We were driving around, having hotels, doing extravagant parties, having our own situation, our own towns, totally protected. They were mad at that. So what did they do? They burned it down and attacked us, killed most of us. You feel me?
We are about to see an economic catastrophe. If you're in this 60% that has little or no money, please stop spending money. Protect your family. Trump does not care about you. Even if you voted for him, he's a billionaire. He won't suffer, but you and your family will. Please protect yourself.
So I'm walking around Costco here and I'm noticing these prices. For example, these madras lentils, $15.99. I bought those a year ago for $6.99. Let's look at what else we got going on here. Dang, this is the flour we were buying for $5.99 last year.
Now listen, I want you guys to understand as well, right? The inflation part of this. Who in their right mind needs that much? Okay? This is where it also comes into the mentality of, I want everything, give it all to me, and y'all don't get nothing. You feel me? We all talk about that infamous interview with Tupac when he was in the studio and he was talking about the ideology of how white Americans think. Take, get away, right? That very, very famous interview with brother Tupac. That is still permeating till today, right? People go to Costco, bruh. What do you need all that for? Oh, that's right, because y'all used to that. So now when those things start to hike up, when you guys should have been saving your money, you should have been stocking up all that stuff. But no, you guys gorge yourself on food, right? Our obesity in this country is insane. The obesity problem in this country, don't even get me started about that, okay? We have too much already. Yeah, maybe it might be good for y'all to not eat a 5-gallon mayonnaise. Yeah, maybe you shouldn't. Who needs 5 gallons of mayonnaise, bro? Who needs that? That's what I'm saying, man. We've been living beyond our means for a very long time. And now things are starting to catch up. As it should, though. As it should. Because like I told you guys, all these tables turn eventually. This. Butter.
We literally bought this chicken broth, $5.69, 2 months ago. And I keep getting told that we got, 6.
All right, he was just showing them soups, right? It was like a pallet of soups. Didn't we just see the CEO of, I think that was Campbell's Soup, who talked about the meat being 3D printed, genetically modified meat in the soup? Family, I really need y'all to understand how funny this is to me, because these people just don't learn, dog. They will never learn. They're so used to relying on everybody else to feed them and to give them everything that they need. Meanwhile, you don't need any of that. It has been proven that fasting, that making sure that you can, one meal a day, that's all you really need. I'm not, knocking anybody else's protein, because some people are, they need more than the others, but that's all you really need is 1 meal a day. Foundational Black Americans, we know how to make something last. We know how to stretch, how to make sure, hey man, I may not be able to eat until about 9 o'clock tonight. So, hey, we're going to make this work. We're going to let this go. You know what I'm saying? Salute to V. I got rations stored up for emergencies. Facts, bro. Same here. I got canned goods. I got all type of stuff that's ready to go. I'm growing food in my backyard right now. All right. This is just facts. Like, you got to start getting back to the real. You got to start getting back to the more primitive way of living. That's what we have to start doing. Okay. Naturally, foundational Black Americans, we grew up on farms and plantations. So I can vividly tell you guys this. My grandfather, Claxton, when I was growing up, he had an entire garden in his backyard, okay? An entire garden, not just like, a whole garden, all right? He had vegetables, he had fruits, he had herbs, he had aloe vera plants for when we would, get, our knees scraped up, all this stuff. He'll go cut it, put it on our little thing, put a Band-Aid, and it'll be healed the next day. Okay. I grew up with a grandfather who grew up with that type of living. my great-grandmother and my grandma grew up on a farm in Clarksville, Texas. Okay, so this part of myself, I grew up seeing this. And so for me, it was very influential on who I was as a person. And it made me realize that this is how most people should live. Everybody should be growing their own food. Everybody should be self-sustainable, because when things break down, which happened during my grandfather's generation, my great-grandmother's generation, my great-great-grandmother's generation, they had to make sure that they took care of themselves and were self-sustaining because the rations were so low. We got to get this garden going, because if something happened, we can't mess around. You know what I'm saying? Salute to Will. He says, facts. They gorged themselves like gluttons, and these Arabs and Asians who own these liquor stores in these communities that were once ours, being the majority, buying the big box grocery stores. This is facts, man. And they're selling them unhealthy, genetically modified, processed foods. Okay. And that is why a lot of them are overweight. Okay. And I'm not trying to be, telling y'all what to do and how to do it. But all I'm saying is I know my body, and I know 1 meal a day is good for me. I can eat 1 meal a day and be fasted the whole day and not even feel nothing, be energized. I go work out, all that. You know what I'm saying? Be good to go. A lot of people, they're overweight for a reason. You know what I'm saying? Hey, they be reselling it higher price. Yes, bro, 100%. The other day, obviously, I don't drink, I don't smoke, nothing. Okay. But I always go in, I'll go in the liquor store, maybe grab some fruit or something, water, whatever. I be looking at how expensive some of these alcohol prices be. I'm like, dang, like y'all still drinking? And it's $40 for a very low grade tequila. Like, hell no, y'all tripping, bro. Y'all better learn. Y'all better make some moonshine out this bitch. For real. Y'all better start making moonshine. Y'all better start, figuring it out, because ain't no way, bro. Agreed, because they are really trying to hurt us severely. 100%, bro. That's how this is happening. That's why there's so much disease, cancer, and diabetes in our community. It's because they figured out a way to infiltrate into our communities, because let's keep it real, we were organic. We came from the land. We are people of the land. We are not what they're trying to make us out to be, right? These projects in the city life, that wasn't naturally who we were, okay? We came from plantations and farms. We were cultivating the land. So when they switched that up, naturally, they're like, okay, bet. Eugenics. Now we'll start running experiments on them. Now we'll start poisoning the community. Now we'll start putting oil refineries and all these different poisonous things next to their housing to kill us, bro. That's just facts. Hey, I don't eat for facts, bro. Straight up. I eat to live. I do not live to eat. Straight up. I eat just enough to make sure that, I'm able to get by. And I'm good, man. I don't need a bunch of calories. And that's why, I keep myself super active. Obviously, I'm a surfer. I work out. I'm heavy into weightlifting. You know what I'm saying? I got my whole crew that we weightlift almost every day, at least 3 to 4 times a week. So when you're on that regimen, you already understand how to treat your body, what fuels your body, what you need, what nutrients you need to keep going, what energizes you and keeps you alive, right? So that's what I see now. They're complaining about all these prices, man. Get out of here, bro. Exactly. The workout is mandatory. Hey, man, I've been telling people this all the time. If you are Foundation of Black American, you need to get in the gym right now. Don't fuck around. This is not a time to be unhealthy. And I mean that in the most endearing way. We cannot be unhealthy right now. All of us need to be taking walks. We need to be making sure that we're eating right. We need to make sure that we are lifting weights, okay, to have some muscle mass. All right. Muscle mass is important. Muscle mass helps elongate your life. All right. And maybe one day, I'll do some content on that. I'll do some content on, the body and how much it's worked for me. I could show some pictures of myself when I was a little bit more bigger, you know, hefty, you know what I mean, when I was on my like heavy lifting, and then where I'm at right now, where I'm super lean, cut up, 6-pack type shit. You feel me? Like, I could definitely, you know, speak on that from a personal perspective.
7% inflation. You gotta be kidding me.
I would say the following. First of all, if you need medication of any kind, you better go out and buy all the medicines you can get, because in a few months they won't be available, because the petroleum industry has a big role to play in the production of pharmaceuticals.
Yes, sir.
So that's my first piece of advice. And secondly, start thinking in terms of storing food and any other items that you think you may need, because as this war continues, and it's going to continue, the impact that I talked about earlier is going to be felt here. There is no evidence that anybody in Tehran is going to pop up on the phone, call President Trump and say, oh, we're so sorry, we surrender, we'll do whatever the Israelis want us to do.
I told you guys, man, we were just talking about it. You know what I'm saying? And it led into that perfectly. Like I said, the time right now is not to be spending. It is to lock in. It's to get right with your health. It's to get right with your food supply. It's to get right with your money and your spending, saving money, making sure that you're using your money within the right communities. Okay. It is also educating yourself, staying aware of what's going on, because this is only going to get worse. It's not going to get better. So your best bet is to be as physically fit, as mentally fit, and as psychologically fit for what is coming. Because if you do not, you are going to be on the outs, man. You're going to get left behind, because this is a part of it, man. And I hate to say this, but a lot of people ain't going to make it. All right. This is just a part of it, bro. This is what they want. Okay. Natural selection is going to happen. And if you are not on top of your game, if you are not making sure that you are mentally, physically, psychologically fit to be ready and prepared for what's coming, you are going to be a victim. And that's just facts. There is not going to be any, oh yeah, some time. No, the time is right now. Get up right now. Tomorrow, whatever you got to do, if you've been sitting on your ass, the time to get up is right now. All right. Make sure that you are doing whatever you got to do to stay fit, to stay physically and mentally fit, and connect spiritually to the Most High. Because if you do not, you are cooked. I mean this in the most endearing way. I'm really trying to get through to everybody who patronizes my channel. The time is right now to be taking care of yourself in every single way. If you have loose ends, tie them up. All right. If you have these little things going on, these lingering health issues, like he said, get on it. Don't wait, because it's not going to be available. The help that you need is not going to be available, man. And it's going to be hard for you guys to come back from it. All right. You thought the pandemic was bad? Come on, man.
Because that's really what it's all about. Now, we have other interests. You know, we think we're harming China. I don't know what the Chinese will do, but I think the Chinese over the next few weeks, they're going to surprise everybody by what they may be willing to do. I don't know if the Chinese will fly some aircraft into the airspace over Iran and essentially tell us, look, we've had enough, stop, or we'll go to war. Maybe the Russians will do something similar. Who knows? There are any number of things that they could do to signal, that's it, we've had it. But in the meantime, I think you just need to prepare for the worst here.
I told you guys, man. I told you that China already has sleeper cells among us right now. China has already made a huge push to make sure that they are in position if they need to get off on us. Excuse me. And so with that being said, as foundational Black Americans, our focus needs to be on us. We need to keep our head on a swivel. And like I said, any resources that you guys have available, start sharing them amongst your communities. Okay. like I said, you know, I do social media here, but I also run a food bank with my family right here in Long Beach, California. So anybody, if you are in need, this is what we have to offer from Elite Media. All right. You guys can go on my channel. I have videos on there with the address and everything. All right. Like I said, first and third Saturdays of the month. All right. We got one coming up, I think, next week. So if anybody, you know what I'm saying, we have to do this. This is a part of why I'm on here. It's to raise awareness, not only for the people in need, but as well for those who are going to be in tough times, man, because they're coming, man. And, you know, I'm not trying to be this doom and gloom guy, conspiracy theory, whatever. It's just the truth. I'm not the only one talking about this. And I know for a fact the reason why a lot of you guys are subscribing to my channel is because this is information that you guys as well resonate with. Okay. So he's going to keep going. Let's see.
And once the stock market figures out, or the investors, the people
Make sure
in New
to
York that run the financial system,
like the
who
video.
are largely part of the problem for us, they're going to say, oh my God. And you're going to watch the stock market tank, and you're going to watch the cost of a barrel of oil go up to 200 and potentially all the way to 3. And all of that is going to bring everything inside the United States to a screeching halt. Potentially. Now, right now, President Trump is betting, based upon what he's hearing from General Kane and others, that with enough explosives, we can win this thing. And what's the win for us? The win is Iran cries uncle. We're surrendering. You can have what you want. We've taken all that we can. We'll do what the Israelis say. I just don't see that happening, Dan.
Listen, man, this is facts, y'all. And like I told you, man, they are in a better position than we are. They are going to be able to, you know, to have the U.S. at their knees, man. And the white establishment is so arrogant. They literally don't even see it coming. And that's the point, is they underestimated what this was going to do. A lot of white Americans underestimated what Trump was going to do. They really, really bought into the racist rhetoric. They really bought into this Make America Great Again concept when America has never been great. It's all been an illusion. It's all marketing and propaganda, which America is the best at. We do have the best marketing. We do have the best propaganda, but it's all over now. The veil has been lifted. The Wizard of Oz is behind the curtain, and he has been exposed, okay? Completely exposed. And listen, a lot of foundational Black Americans, we stand out the way. We don't even care what happens. Straight up. This country deserves everything it has coming to it. Because what? They chose to ignore us. They chose this. Racism is expensive. And I will continue to tell you guys that racism is expensive, and they're going to pay the ultimate price. And like I said, we're going to be all right. We going to be all right. Everybody else, though, they're cooked. We going to be all right because we're survivors, man. That's the facts.
What do you think the mental effects would be on people who have never seen carnage, chaos, and just total anarchy? And I told her, I said most people won't be able to handle it. I said there'll be a few veterans that can handle it, the ones who were in a war zone, or where you have seen somebody get is killed. I don't go with the lingo is unalive, so forgive me if I don't use that.
It's crazy you can't even use that word.
Words to mean changing things to mean something else. But I told her it could be possible chaos, because imagine your neighbors not being the same neighbors that you wave at all the time because their kids are hungry and they know you got food. They become your enemies. Y'all were over there having fun. Let's just say the power goes out. Now, everybody breaking out their grills, trying to cook up their meat before it spoils and everything else. And next thing you know, last time you had a guy over to the house and he was helping you out. We'll just use the name John. John was helping you out. John saw you had a bunch of canned goods and everything.
Listen, man, and this is why we try and tell people, man, as foundational Black Americans, we have collectively always had that community amongst each other. You know what I'm saying? I can vividly remember as a youth growing up in my neighborhood in Long Beach, all the Black families I was on the street, we would spend the night on each other's houses. You feel me? One family would feed the other kids one day. Somebody would come over to my house and we'll feed the families. We'll feed the neighbors' kids. You know what I'm saying? All the homies who would come over and vice versa, right? When you are among us, you are us, right? If you coming over for the weekend, you got to spend the night on Saturday and you going to church on Sunday. That was mandatory. That was a part of our community, right? They don't have those same values. They don't have those same ideologies and that same bond like we do. So like he mentioned, yes, it's going to get tough out here. And when people see that you have more than they do, what you think going to happen? What you think going to be the next way to move? Because that's in their nature. Steal, unalive, lie, cheat. That is a part of who they are. That's in their DNA. It's not us, though. They have some weapons you couldn't even imagine. Facts, bro. Facts. And so you better be careful, man. Like I said, foundational Black Americans, we already know how to move in these type of times, but it's now heightened because it's going to affect them more than it's going to affect us. And they're already jealous of us. They're already jealous of the fact that we are having a very good time during this tumultuous era. They are so jealous of us of the fact that we can still find joy in the dark times. So be careful, because they're going to try to steal that joy from us. And I'm not going to let them do it. You feel me?
All the fun and games done wore out. People are down in survival mode. His kids are hungry. Middle of the night, you hear somebody trying to get in your door. You come downstairs.
It's John.
And you see your neighbor John looking you right in your face. And you're like, what the hell do you want? Oh man, my kids are hungry, this, that, and that. Now, because you understand the situation, you go ahead and throw him a few cans of motherfucking pork and beans and you tell him to get the hell on. And you go ahead and secure your door or whatever you gotta do. But he has just showed you what your neighbors are capable of doing. And this is the thing. He's been there once. He's gonna come back.
Listen, man, this is a part of it. You know, what do they say? Art imitates life, right? Art imitates life. And we already saw the movie The Purge, right? I don't know if y'all have seen that movie, The Purge, but we're going to start getting into those type of times where everybody's going to be fighting for scraps. You know what I'm saying? The Hunger Games, all that stuff. We done seen those movies. And those aren't by design, you know what I'm saying? Those aren't by coincidence, I'm sorry. Those are specifically put out there because it's foreshadowing for what can be coming in this dystopian era that we are literally zooming towards. You know what I'm saying? Salute to V. He says, lucky all my neighbors around me, all sides grow food. Yeah, man, I'm very lucky enough, like I said, to be attached to an organization and a community that helps give back and is attached to food banks and all this stuff. Because let me tell y'all something, you guys will be surprised about the people who show up to those food banks. When I'm out there helping out, giving people food and stuff, you would be so surprised about the people you see who pull up. You'll think it's going to be, you know, impoverished people, families, stuff like that. There'll be people in Mercedes, nice cars, well-to-do people. A dude pulled up one time with a suit on. Okay, I don't know where he was coming from, but you give him the food with no judgment because I understand what it's like out here. It ain't easy. And like he just mentioned, it could be your neighbor who got a family and he's now out of work. They're broke and the system ain't getting better. You got food, he doesn't. He knows that food is over there. Some people gonna do whatever they got to do to get, you know, get the food that they need to live. All right. So Will A says facts. That's another huge difference between us and them. Their jealousy of us rules and controls them. It's sick, man, but the judgment is here. Facts, man. The last will be first and the first will be last. This is a part of the prophecy, man. This is a part of the prophecy. We have been last for so long that now it is going to turn. The tables will turn, okay? Always, all days. This is how it goes, man. Tables always turn. And that's why I always try to make it clear. Like when I see content creators who start getting a following, who start blowing up, whatever you want to call it, I see how quickly they turn on their own people who put them up there. And that is the easiest way for you to lose your position, right? Because everything that we do is a privilege. Life is a privilege. Waking up every day is a gift. So when you go out here and you are saying disparaging thing against people who did nothing to you other than contribute to this world, like foundational Black Americans have for generations, family, this is all a part of us getting back everything that we lost. Okay? This is a part of the prophecy that is going to be fulfilled. All right? Whether they care or not, it's up to them. But I make this super clear, y'all. There is no other people who have gone through more than what foundational Black Americans have gone through. And so naturally, we are now starting to see those tables turn. And now, for everything that they thought was going to happen to us, is now happening to them. Woo! Sweet. How sweet. How sweet karma is, man. Karma is she's a mean one. She's a mean one, and she does not take any prisoners, family. That's just how it goes.
Are you willing and ready to do whatever needs to be done to stop him or others? You know, you got to you have to pay attention.
Man,
if they had FEMA lines for food, you got to get your ass down there and stand in that FEMA line too. You got to go in your backyard and put some dirt on your face and look all scraggly, ball your clothes up. You got to wear some bigger clothes to make it look like you losing weight just like everybody else. You can't be looking like you still gaining weight and everybody else's faces is sunken in and all this other stuff. Hey, we don't ever see the Barracuda up there at the FEMA line. I wonder what he got going on. And all it takes is for him to get a group of jokers to come and become the golden horde, which those are the people that are coming to try to ransack and take whatever you got.
Listen, man, this is why I always tell people, like, I'm a proponent of self-defense, obviously. You know what I'm saying? I've studied jiu-jitsu, boxing, MMA, Muay Thai. You know what I'm saying? I'm very well trained. I also am very well trained in firearms, right? I always mention my dad is past law enforcement. He was also a Marine. My grandfather was also in the Army. Both of my grandfathers fought for this. Okay? So growing up, I came from such a very strong base of self-defense, understanding how to defend myself. But at the same time, I also understood that the enemy is around us, and at any moment things could turn up. So you gotta be careful out here, man. The book of Eli is coming to mind. Yeah, man, 100%, 100%. And even in the book of Eli, what did they do? What was the most valuable thing to them? Books, right? Knowledge. That was the most valuable thing in the book of Eli, that movie, right? So you got to be careful, man. Like, you got to make sure that you guys study, okay? Not just what's on the internet, but reading books, okay? Because there's going to be a time when these things are going to be taken away from us. And I mean this wholeheartedly, okay? These things, this is how we're able to communicate through generations, is through books. And they know that. And what did they say? If you don't want somebody to know something, you put it in a book. All right? It was illegal for foundational Black Americans to read. And why was that? Because everything we needed to know was in those books, y'all. So educate yourself. Don't mess around, man. Salute, V. Yup, Vet here. Mill fam, yes, sir. I was thinking of that movie too. Yes, sir. Hey, man, salute to all the veterans out there, all of my foundational Black American veterans who have fought for this country. I appreciate you guys so much, and thank you for your service, because you guys are going to be the ones, and I mean this, when it goes down, you guys are going to be the ones that we need the most. Real talk. We're going to have to align ourselves with y'all, because the good fight is going to be set behind those who have the military training and understanding. Okay? Because a lot of us who, who didn't enlist but don't have the military training, there's an alignment, right? But then there are people who don't have any of that. And they're going to be the ones who are going to be easy targets, man. So we got to be ready. We got to be trained. Like I said, we got to be trained physically, mentally, and spiritually. We got to be ready, man, because it's going to get tricky out here.
Just imagine a world in chaos. The sexual assault's going to be off the chain.
Man, you already know that.
Murder's going to be off the chain.
Yep.
And when I say sexual assaults, I mean men too. Men won't be exempt, because you got some people out there that'll do some things. So you need to be getting your mindset ready in case that ever happens. I hope it never happens, because my mind is set to knowing what I got to do. And the only people who would take joy in having to kill as many people as they wanted to is those people who they some type of psychopath is inside.
Yeah, man, and this is facts. And salute to V. He says, crazy. I've been getting recipe books, propagation books, remedy stuff, and guest time is, yeah, man, it's 100% needed. Hold on, let me grab something for y'all real quick. Let me see if I got it in my little. Let me see here. Let me see where it's at. Let's see. Where's it at? I think it's over here. Yeah, there it is. Yes, sir. Right here. The Chinese system of food cures. Okay. This book right here is preventions and remedies. Okay. This book has everything you would need to know about food remedies and any type of self-healing that you would need from food. Okay. Herbs, juices, all types of things like that, right? This book, I use it very extensively when I get sick or if there's something wrong with me, because, I played football at a very high level. So I had a lot of concussions, as you do. If you play the game long enough, you're going to get hit or you're going to hit somebody. That's just a part of the game. So I suffer from a lot of cognitive issues from that. Like I'll have a lot of migraines, specifically in my facial area. And I will also have light sensitivity. That's why I'll always have either a tinted lens or I wear lenses or dark lenses when the sun is out always, because I just have a suffering aspect from that, right? So I needed to figure out ways to heal myself without using serious medication, right? And so that's where I went on my journey, where I was following Dr. Sebi out here in Los Angeles. I would go to his meetings and his talks to learn how to heal myself. And then I started reading books about it. You know what I'm saying? Started collecting more information about how to heal myself with natural remedies. Okay. Food cures. All right. Because like they say, you can cure yourself and kill yourself by what you eat. Okay. Your stomach is the biggest, most part that controls your entire health. All right. So it is important, like I tell everybody all the time, especially foundational Black Americans, stay locked in on your health right now, because it's going to be super important when these dark times start to escalate. We cannot take this lightly, guys. We got to be careful, man, because they're poisoning us through the food. They're poisoning us through the food, y'all. They want us to have shorter lives. That's why the lifespan is continuing to dwindle in the Black community. obesity. We got cancer. We got diabetes. We got all types of things. Sickle cell anemia. All right. That is a big part of our community. Asthma. Come on, man. I could keep going. But we got another one right here. Let's hear what this white man has to say.
These traitors are about to declare martial law for Israel in all 50 states.
I'm not going to answer particulars on something that may be in the planning process, but we definitely do have multiple layers of National Guard response forces, whether it's in each state, whether it's regionally, whether it's Title 10 active duty, whether it's Washington, D.C. We've got a lot of different ways that constitutionally and legally we can employ Title 10 and Title 32 forces, and we will do so when necessary.
Okay, so you know what that was, right? Do you know what just happened there? These traitors are about to declare martial law for Israel in all 50 states. That's what that was. When they say 50 states won Israel, that's what they mean. They mean 50 states under the control of one foreign country as the American people are locked down in their homes at gunpoint and thrown into gulags as thought criminals if they speak out against sending their children to die in a foreign war.
Listen, man, this is what's going to happen. They're going to start drafting a lot of these kids. You know what I'm saying? They're going to start pushing these people to fight a war that nobody wanted. Okay. And mind you, a lot of foundational Black Americans warned these people. We told them that this was going to happen and they did not listen. And so now the blood will be on us to be shed, not on them. They're not sending their kids to go fight for this. Obviously not. But it's going to be us once again, because like I told you guys, the wars are not won by them. It was won by foundational Black Americans. We were the ones, the soldiers, the ones who had the tactics, the ones who were smart enough to create these type of war ideologies to be able to survive and win. They didn't create this stuff. They were the ones who were just trying to benefit from it. And it's so crazy because we now have to take up for all of their arms that they lost, dude. It's crazy, man.
You're fucking right. Because this is so much bigger than that. We're not going to go political on this, but you are 1000% correct. These are literally for the fucking people who laid down their lives for this country, and you're going to sit here and come fuck with us? Not today, Satan.
All right, so the top says, it says, the government is scared of us veterans standing up against them. F all those fake movements out there. And listen, man, that's why I told you guys, the veterans in the foundational Black American community are going to be very important when things start to get tricky, okay? Because that military training and understanding, you know what I'm saying? Rest in peace, Chris Dorner. If you know, you know, okay? Rest in peace to a legend and hero, Chris Dorner, okay? This is the type of ideology that is going to be needed when things jump off, okay? They talk about, oh, it's America first, whatever. Yeah, it's America first until y'all get upset with Black Americans, and then now it's you know, it is what it is. Y'all know what's going to be. So it is very important for the protection of not only our community, but this country, that the veterans stay on their pivot, because we already know them sleeper cells are coming out. They're popping out of nowhere, out of everywhere, man. So y'all better be careful. And like I said, stay on your pivot, because they're ready to do, you know, the worst to us. And that's just facts, man. They're ready for that. They can't wait to be able to unleash on us. You feel me?
We don't play that shit. So you're literally poking the bear, and now the bear's awake, and this movement will be real, because we're done sitting fucking quiet. Yes.
I honestly don't feel safe in this country anymore. At any moment of time, ICE has the ability to come into my house and grab me for the crime of not being a white guy. And I can be taken anywhere and kept there for as long as they see fit. And I will have no recourse. I can't fight back.
All right. So a funny story about Chris Dorner. So my dad worked for the LAPD. You know what I'm saying? He's retired now. But when he was working for the LAPD, that's when that was actually happening, right? And, you know, my dad used to cross paths with Chris a lot. You feel me? And obviously they're both veterans. And, you know, it was a very interesting time because I could see the conflict that was happening with my dad. You know, my dad, he is very, very pro-black, and he understands racism. That's how I got a lot of my ideologies, from my dad. And he saw why Chris was doing what he did. You feel me? And I could see from a certain perspective him kind of understanding, but then having to like stay out of it because obviously the politics of that, you know, what was going on. But Chris was a real one, man. And my dad told me that like directly. He was a real one. And, you know, the capabilities, Foundation of Black Americans, like I told you, man, when it's time to crash out, when it's time to do what we got to do, I mean this. It's gonna be smoke in the city. That's all I gotta say. I'm gonna skip this dude because, you know, we ain't gotta talk about ICE.
Pay attention and listen. Before the active shooting took place in Michigan earlier today, Trump said this. Look,
Iran sleeper cells there could be inside the U.S. right now.
I have been, and a lot of people came in through Biden with this stupid open border. But we know where most of them are. We've got our eye on all of them, I think.
Okay, I think we have an eye on all of the sleeper cells. No, you don't. You don't. You do not. You do not. Because if you did, and we know this, if you did, these things wouldn't be happening. We already know what's going to happen, y'all. We already see it. The writing's on the wall, okay? They have gone out of their way, all right, to create this energy that we are under right now. This is their creation. So when we talk about this type of stuff, these sleeper cells, and not only that, when we talk about immigration as foundational Black Americans, we already knew what was going to happen. Too many people are coming in from countries that aren't even from Mexico. It wasn't just Mexicans coming through that border, y'all. I don't know if y'all seen the documentaries and stuff, but if you go on, I think their channel name is Channel 5 News. It's like, you know, it's independent media, but he did a whole expose, I think it was like a year ago or 2 years ago, about the travels that people have to make to get through the border to come from Mexico to the United States. And a lot of those people weren't just Mexicans, all right? There was a lot of Chinese, there was a lot of Africans, there was a lot of people from the Caribbean and also from South America. So you cannot tell me, man, that a lot of those sleeper cells didn't come through not only those borders when Biden was in, but as well Trump, because remember Trump talked about building the wall. That never happened, and it still hasn't happened till this day. So for him to say, oh, it was Biden, yeah, right, bro, it was all of you guys. All of you guys contributed to this. There are two wings on the same bird. Like I always say, they are all together in on this, and every single one of them contributed to where we are today in this country. All of them contributed to this.
They came in through the open border policies of Sleepy Joe Biden, one of the worst president in the history of our country. And we've got our eyes on all of them. But the war itself is being prosecuted at a level that nobody's seen before.
Trump said that yesterday, a day before this sleeper cell was activated in Michigan, which has been identified to be Mohammed Jalal, former Army National Guardsman, which was convicted in 2016 for attempting to provide material to support ISIS.
Yes, sir. A naturalized citizen from where? Sierra Leone. All right. This is a part of what is happening right now. And this is why I'm so glad that the delineation happened when it happened. It 100% separated us from any of this coming onto our community. All right. These sleeper cells, they are not Americans. Okay. They are from Africa. They are from other countries like China, Russia. Okay. We're going to start seeing them, and Iran. All right. A lot of Middle Eastern people are going to start popping out. Okay. And delineation couldn't have come at a better time, y'all. Because if this is before delineation, they're just going to say that this is a black man and we need to now go ahead and start searching every single black person. No, this is an African from Sierra Leone who infiltrated into our army as a naturalized citizen. How dangerous is this? Military training, all that for free. Goes out here, gets paid. Yes, the Ukraine as well. You right about that, bro. So we got all that happening, and these people are literally sleeper cells, man. Look at this.
Naturalized citizen from Syria released from federal prison in 2024 under Joe Biden. Why does that interview with Trump yesterday connect so well with what happened earlier today in Michigan?
Let me tell you something probably most of you don't know. When the system goes down and the grid fails and there's no longer any power, no grocery stores, no running water, it's not going to matter your social status, how much money you have, where you're from, what hood you come from, how many guns you got. None of that's going to matter. Everybody's going to be fighting for food and resources to keep their families alive. It doesn't matter what you have, how much you've prepped. Everybody's going to be coming for what you have.
And like I said earlier, y'all, these white Americans are in panic mode because they were so used to this way of living. They've been so used to everything being given to them. They have been used to having an abundance. And now they're starting to realize that it was all a lie. And so now the entire world's ending. It's over. Oh my God, they're at the end times. It's so dramatic of these people to do this when this has literally been something that foundational Black Americans have been talking about for generations. The lack of resources, the distinct differences between their communities and our communities. Them being able to have access to things that we do not have access to. And we're now supposed to be in panic mode because of this? Nah, bruh. Nah, man. It's cool, bro. Like I said, we are already survivors. We know how to make something out of nothing. We will be fine because we've gotten used to this. You guys are the ones who are going to have troubles. You guys are the ones who are not going to be easy to sleep at night. You guys are going to be the ones who have to worry about your neighbors unaliving you because that's in your nature. Okay? Foundational Black Americans, regardless of what anybody has to say, we're going to find a way to take care of one another. Okay? We already have an insulated community of this. Okay? So when I hear these people, these end time dramatics, it's so corny to me, bro, because when has America ever been great, y'all? For us. Oh, yeah, that's right. Because you guys didn't care. It didn't affect you. When something doesn't affect you, it's all good. What a narcissistic way of thinking. If it doesn't affect me, it's all good. But now it's affecting them. Now it's, oh, yeah, y'all better be ready for what's coming. Oh, yeah, you guys, you guys aren't good. You shut up, bro. Shut up, bro. Ain't nobody trying to hear that, man. Ain't nobody trying to hear that, bro. Ain't nobody trying to hear your little tears. Ain't nobody caring about what y'all got going on, family. Enough is enough. You know what I'm saying? We done sat around and watched this show many a times. We done sat around and allowed people to try to dictate what was going on, and we told you guys what was going to happen, and y'all chose not to listen. So now you got to pay the price. You feel me? Now you got to pay the price. And that's unfortunate because at the end of the day, this does affect us as Americans because we love this country. But at the end of the day, this is it. It is what it is, man. It is what it is. And I hope and I pray that you guys continue to do the things that I said. Prepare physically, prepare mentally, and prepare spiritually. Get right with the Most High. Get your body right. Stay on point. You feel me? Get your diet on point. You know what I mean? And make sure you are mentally keeping yourself sane. Go outside, okay? Enjoy nature, okay? Don't allow the internet to be your entire life, all right? I come on here and I do my little, live streams, and I go about my day. I go out and live. I go out and explore the world, okay? I go touch some grass is what they say, right? Go touch some grass. Yeah, I do that regularly, all right? I go on my walks. I go surf. I go to the beach. I go and enjoy the beauties of what God has given us as humans right here on earth. We are the people of these lands. So go and connect with it. Go and sit. Be quiet. Let your brain just sit and relax, man. Go outside and enjoy what's available for us, man. Don't let the internet be everything. Don't let it be your end all be all. Because like I always say, the internet is not real, okay? All this stuff right here, these people that get on here, they lie to you just to get you views and content. Nah, man, I'm telling y'all, go outside. Go enjoy yourself. Go connect with your family. Go connect with your friends. Make sure you tapped in with the people closest to you. Okay, because they're going to be the ones who are going to be able to help you get through these tough times. Go build your communities. All right, because listen, the community that I'm building, that we are building at Elite Media, this is 100% for us to connect with y'all. All right, so you guys make sure to like and subscribe, man. Make sure that you like the video. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel so we can continue to build as a community over here. Okay, you guys are very important to me, just like I am important to you guys. So now let's continue to build. Let's make this into something great, and let's continue to break the status quo of what they're trying to push onto us. The propaganda cannot win if we are here to debunk the fake narratives, y'all. So salute, man. I appreciate everybody, man. It's getting late. I want you guys to get a nice amount of rest, because I'm waking up early to go surf tomorrow. All right. So much love to everybody, man. Make sure you guys enjoy your weekend. You know what I'm saying? Make sure if you guys going to church, have a great Sunday, all that. I might be back on Sunday with J-Rock. You know what I'm saying? Because, we do it on Sundays with our group streams. You know what I'm saying? Elite Conversation. So you guys make sure to stay tapped in. All right. So much love and respect. And I'm out. Peace.